Hi, I'm Andy, this is Dan. We're going to talk about the battery miller and the mains operating miller.
Yeah, we are. So, the much loved Mini Miller, okay, runs off a buffer, has an 8mm shaft, is a very good tool.
It's a workhorse and a favourite.
It is, people love it, they do.
So we've kind of worked on that as a base model, haven't we, and we've come up with the battery operated miller with a complete redesign, pretty much, albeit apart from the very familiar Picote frame.
It looks the same. So from the front, looks pretty much the same. On my Mini Miller, I have a control box. This one has an on-off switch on the top and an emergency stop button, and that's pretty much it on this particular unit on the front. So yours is quite different.
Yeah, I've got my speed control here. Not got one on there.
I haven't, no.
And this, the foot pedal, mine plugs in. Thanks to customers asking, could we have that on a plug?
Yeah.
We've done that on this machine. Still got the emergency stop on the front, which is a brilliant safety device.
And you've also got a battery level indicator.
Ah, yeah. So we can press that and we can see the battery level on there. We turn them round, look at the back?
Yeah, why not? Yours comes off.
Yeah, I know, but I left it plugged in just in case.
Whatever.
I didn't want to shaft too much.
Yeah.
So this is the back to the two machines, and we can already see before we start pointing out there's some pretty big changes on the back of here. This is a complete redesign of the power plant, isn't it, compared to what you've got there? So
the standard Mini Miller has the familiar buffer motor on the back with its handguard and connection. It's also got a mechanical clutch. So the big differences between the two units really are the motor that you've got.
This is the new dedicated DC
brushless
motor, isn't it, in there?
Yeah. You also have a angle gear. That's that bit, yeah.
So I've not got a clutch under there then, it's not big enough to have a clutch in, is it?
No, nowhere near big enough. So your clutch is now electronic.
Running that new control box of mine.
It is. And the other difference is that you have a control box, an additional control box on the back.
Is that the brains all in there then?
Pretty much, yeah.
And the
on-off switch
yeah.
On the side.
Wow.
So what we didn't do is we didn't just put a battery buffer on the back of the machine and declare that it's a battery machine. It went right the way back to the drawing board and started afresh, started from scratch, and has now become a very, very different machine. You could say that it's jumped a couple of versions ahead and then gone out to market.
So we can program this.
Yeah.
Instead of it being a mechanical clutch or whatever, it's a program clutch, it's a program power transmission.
Yes.
So it puts the power on nice and smooth so you can do more with it.
It is very different when you're using the machine. You can do quite a lot with it.
It's quiet as well.
And it is very quiet.
Very quiet.
It's very quiet. And you know, the added bonuses that go with a battery machine. So you've got no trading leads. You haven't, in some countries, got to have a transformer between the mains power and the unit itself. So yeah, it saves time. I have taken the battery unit out with a contractor who was doing planned maintenance, and it significantly reduced the working time on site, just because we weren't messing about with leads.
Safer as well, less risk.
Yeah, to a point. There were no leads. Well, really, it was the time saving in that you have to run out leads. You have to make sure that those leads are safe into the area where you're working. And we didn't have to worry about that. We just picked the machine up, put it down where we needed it, used it, wrapped it back up, and off we went to the next area. So yeah, it cut the working time down considerably.
Pretty cool.
It is, because it is a very different machine to what people think it is. Because we launched we showed a prototype at a show, which was a buffer with a battery, as opposed to what we've now actually taken out to market, which is a very different machine. It's almost like as versatile as some of the bigger machines, and I don't think we've really got to the crux of how good a machine or what it can actually do as yet.
And that battery you were talking about, like a battery buffer.
Yeah.
This isn't a battery buffer.
No.
It's not going to run on that kind of thing.
No.
It's a
So
proper.
it is it's a big battery. It's a 48-volt battery, and the standard battery that comes with the unit will work for 3 hours under load.
That's awesome. That's more than a day's work, isn't it? Or a week's worth of an engineer.
Yes.
Jobbing around.
So a technician that goes from job to job and uses various tools on those jobs, that battery will probably last a week, I would have thought. We tried it in the workshop where we were doing jobs with it, and then we put it down. We came back to it the following day, we did some more jobs with it, we left it, came back to it, and we did that for well over a week. We were into the following week before we charged it. The only reason we charged it is because we were going to do a show, and we thought it would be best if it was a fully charged battery when we did that, which was fair enough. So yeah, when we say it's...
And that just drops in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, when we say it's 3 hours under load, it really is 3 hours under load. And you can also get a battery which is a higher capacity, and that lasts for 4 hours under load. Yeah, so it does last. That was the thing for me, was if you look at most battery machines where they've literally just had a battery stuck onto them.
Cordless power tools.
Cordless power tools, for example, they're pretty good, but the best you're going to get on average for a decent price is about an 18-volt battery. Probably lasts you a day. You need to have another battery on site just in case, and we've exceeded that considerably by using this type of battery technology.
That's awesome. But it's not just the battery. This is the sweet bit.
That changes everything. It absolutely changes everything that machine appears to be able to do. You've still got, I suppose its biggest limitation, if you want one, is the flexibility of the cable, which is actually one of its biggest advantages, because that's what gets us to where we need to be. Also allows us to do smaller bore pipe work with it. So yeah, I have done some pretty good videos of me cutting stuff out of reinstatements with a battery miller, which I wouldn't be able to do with the mini miller.
Yeah.
Just because of the way that the clutch is set up. So this is a mechanical, that's electronic, and it just allows me to do things that we didn't think were possible with a machine of that size.
And it all looks familiar. It's a Picote machine.
Yeah, fortunately, one of the best things about it is it all fits into essentially a standard mini miller frame. It's not particularly heavy over and above this unit to manoeuvre around. So in the real world, when you're trying to get it in and out of vehicles, when you're trying to lift it off a workshop floor onto a workshop bench, it's not that big a deal. It's a good package.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you not go for all of this? There's nothing to stop.
No.
So there you go. That's why
Battery Mini Miller.
Why you want the battery mini miller, and some of its differences that you can actually see. Like I said, most of it's at the back, so you can't really see it from the front. So
No, slightly different back plate, but they've tried to keep the original back plate as much as possible.